In this video, I'm going to talk about people who don't know how to drive, and they somehow got their driver's license, and they're on the road. And the typical thing I run into, and I drive a lot on the interstate to go to work, is that people like to change lanes a lot. Not everyone, but certain people. I drive in the slow lane of the interstate. I like to find that nice big truck, or sometimes it's a car that's hauling bags of lawn mulch that's about twice the height of the car in a trailer. And they're going slower than everyone else. And I tuck in behind them and travel a safe distance behind them. But a thing I see a lot is I'll see out of the corner of my eye someone rapidly accelerate behind me, and then at the very, very last minute, they'll change lanes. They're using the slow lane to get around someone in a different lane that's not going fast enough. So what I have to typically do in that situation is accelerate hard so they don't hit me. Because I'm sure if 1,000 cars did it, one of those cars isn't going to cut over fast enough, and I don't want to wait on the side of the road for 2 hours doing paperwork. So usually when I see things like that, I have to basically floor the car so it accelerates hard, and I steer into the opposite direction that they're turning into so they don't hit me. And it doesn't really matter if they're right or wrong. I just essentially driving defensively. And another thing I have to do on the interstate is to keep a good distance between the car in front of me and myself. The general rule of thumb is you leave 1 car length of space for every 10 miles per hour that you're going. So if I'm going 60 miles on the interstate, I'm going to leave 6 car lengths in front of me. Now, sometimes in the fast lane, it's because people are in a hurry to get to work and school. And I don't mean to spoil it for you, but there's not a trophy for getting to work or school 5 minutes faster than me, or for all the other peers that you work for. You still get a paycheck, just saying. Is that they'll be less than a car length behind them, and they'll have multiple cars stacked up in the fast lane, and I'm in the slow lane, and I can look over and I can see this taking place. And like, if one of them sneezes or slows down, it's going to be like this domino effect. But even in the slow lane, this doesn't happen too often. But one time I was basically driving behind this road rage incident where you have 2 cars cutting each other off. The other one's trying to run the other off the road. And one of them decides to go from highway speeds to residential road speeds in under 2 seconds. And this happens in the lane that I'm in. And again, it doesn't matter if they're right or wrong, but I have to basically slam on my brakes. I hope the car behind me also does the same thing. I don't end up hitting them, but that increases the distance between Road Rager 1 and Road Rager 2. So the other one takes off at interstate speeds, and the other one is traveling at residential road speeds. So the gap between them widens by the minute. But again, if I chose to tailgate them on the interstate, there would have been an accident. Another thing that's happened, again, only once, is I'm driving along minding on my own business on the interstate, and you're traveling at a good clip. And the car in front of me, instead of going from highway speeds to residential speeds, they decide to come to a complete stop. And it's a good thing that I'm not on my phone, not texting, not trying to talk and drive. And it's a good thing I have more than enough distance between me and the car in front of me, because I'm barely able to come to a complete stop as well. And as I go around it, I realized that that car ended up hitting another car, and they've come to a complete stop. Also, at other times, is I can be at a traffic light making a left-hand turn, and I'm waiting. The light's red. The light turns green. Is it safe to go? No. Why? Because another car traveling on the crossroad just decides to run the red light through the intersection. Does it matter if they're right or wrong? No, I have to wait for them to finish blowing through the red light on their side so I can turn. And I could honk at them, but you have to keep in mind that in this day and age is people are kind of crazy. And so if you do that, you could be potentially escalated this situation, and it's just probably safer just to let them blow the red light and then you can turn. Although in a rational world, you would just be able to turn when light's green because it's your turn to go. But in this day and age, you just can't do that. You have to double check. And people, they don't know how to drive nowadays for whatever reason. I have near where I live, I haven't seen the truck, but there's like this really big 4x4 pickup truck that's elevated off of the ground, and the license plate on the back of their car had the word reckless. There's some kind of misspelled on it, but they drove in a careless kind of manner, and I saw them around for a couple months, and then I didn't see them around anymore. I don't know what happened to them, but that's another example of it's a little crazy place in this world. Stay safe out there. Thanks for watching.